All right. Welcome back, guys. Stopfly here again. We got patch notes. Patch 25.22. This is a nice little artwork here of Otacon, Shinjao, and Yunara. And yeah, I know this is about a day late. This patch actually dropped. Ooh, sorry about that. That was actually the notification that my stream is live. Sorry. But I know that this patch is going to be live in just a little bit. Better late than never, right? So let's just go ahead and hop in and get through it. First of all, Panda Pal Lux. We've reached the point where Lux getting a new skin is more important than the patch notes. Because notice, the skins are normally at the bottom. What better way to celebrate Worlds in China than with Lux and her Panda Pals? Several chromas, unique textures. Oh, and it's a charity skin. Okay, I take it back. It's a charity skin. Never mind. Never mind. I can't be upset. It is a charity skin, so this is important. And Machine Herald Victor. So if you haven't seen this, Riot is reselling old Victor. This is a cool skin that goes back and talks about how Victor used to be. If you're a Victor main and your mastery is high enough, you actually get it for free. And it also uses Victor's old voice lines too. So our boy is back, finally. So Machine Herald Victor will be coming out after some adjustments to bring him more in line with what many of you have requested. All the Victor lovers for free if you had Mastery 5 or above as of August 4th. And then you can pick them up in the shop starting tomorrow if you weren't a Victor player. But nice to see. It's nice to see Victor return to us for the glorious evolution. But now we're getting into the actual patch notes. Let's see here. Akshan. One of the clear reasons for recent changes to early game sustain. Yeah. We actually went over this a couple weeks ago. I was really concerned that range top would be making a comeback with nerfs to both Doran's shield and second wind, which is realistically your only real way to offset some of the poke from lane bullies as a melee. It was a little too strong, I would say, because some champs went Doran's blade second wind and they're just immortal, right? It's a waste of time to even poke them in the first place, because at some point when they're less than half health, you're healing them every time you auto them rather than actually doing any real damage. But whatever. Akshan was a little too strong. He's lost 20 base health, and his Q, the boomerang, one more second, but it equalizes out at max rank, which I'm sure you max this first anyway, so just a hit to his early game. Aurelion Soul. While Aurelion Soul can still be a menace in the late game, we don't think his early game needs to be quite as painful as it currently is, giving him better trades and generally improving his ability to dodge skill shots and navigate fights. So a move speed buff. 5 movement speed. That makes sense. This actually also affects his flight, which they have here. Aurelion's W is modified by his movement speed, so 5 extra movement speed, you always like to see it. Breath of Light, burst damage, so 55 to 95 plus 30 is now 60 through 100 plus 30. So this is the damage it does right away. Like if you just tap the Q, and he does the quick little puff, he whatchamacallit, it does a little bit more damage, which is nice because not every champ's just sitting there getting breathed on. Blitzcrank. He's been underperforming, so we add some more pep to his steam. Power Fist, cooldown. 9 to 5 is now 7 to 5, so minus 2 seconds. That's actually not bad. I'm shocked that they don't just remove Blitzcrank's self-slow anymore. I know he'll be really, really strong for the patch that they do it, but they might as well do it. Let Blitzcrank be overpowered for a patch and then push some nerfs through. The old boy deserves it. I honestly think the old boy deserves it. remove his self slow, let him be broken for a bit, and then balance him around that. Just my opinion. You have other supports that have like infinite movement speed. Like, where's Rel's self slow, for example? But I guess she doesn't have one of the strongest skill shots in the game. Anyway, LeBlanc. LeBlanc's last set of changes made her more viable in the highest levels of play, but also led her to be a bit overwhelming for the rest of us at home. So her health growth has been decreased by 3 and her armor growth decreased by 0.5. This is good. Make LeBlanc squishier. This champion is such a menace in solo queue because you can't punish her. Like, realistically, most champions in lane against LeBlanc cannot really punish her. Right? Like, you can trade back and hit her back when she flies in with distortion. But, like, if you're another mage, for example, what do? You either land your spell or you don't. She just bursts half your health. And then your jungler can't really gank it either unless it's a champ with, like, a foolproof gank like Pantheon, where it's just like a point-and-click stun. So I'm all for making LeBlanc squishier. She really doesn't need to be very tanky with what she's able to do, having such an unfair trade pattern for a lot of other champs. Skarner. We're nerfing Impale's cast time to increase his counterplay. Skarner is meant to occasionally be a Juggernaut. We're increasing the viability of AD Juggernaut items, specifically Steric's Gauge. To make it more approachable, we're removing an awkward optimization around Q's uptime. I see. So his AD growth is now 4. Bonus AD ratio up 10% on the Q. Starts on last offensive Q action. So you can hold the rock for longer. And then the cooldown much shorter as well. But I guess because the cooldown starts later, this actually evens out. Ixtal's Impact, 120% bonus AD ratio too. Impale. And the cast time for this is a little longer. So this is actually interesting. This is a huge buff if you like playing Skarner as a Juggernaut, 100%. Because his Q damage, his damage in general already scales with his HP. But since the AD ratios have been increased, like they said, if you like to build items like Steric's Gauge, having a higher base AD actually increases the amount of AD Steric's Gauge gives you. And beyond even that, since he has a bonus AD ratio, since Skarner loves building Heartsteel, for example, I can now see a situation where you build Steric's Gauge and Overlord's Bloodmail. So you can take advantage of having all that bonus AD. Because these increased AD ratios, I can see it. Juggernaut Skarner could be the play. Right? At the very least, you play him like Mundo at that point. I see it. I see it. Yeah, seriously. Steric's Gauge, Overlord's Bloodmail, after you get your Heartsteel. And he has a huge power spike on that 3 item. And then from there, you just built the tank items that you need. Like, at that point, it's not too late to build the Unending Despair. Pretty good. We shall see. Talon. Talon is running, front-flipping the jungle right now, especially with the newly buffed Axiom Arc. He's pretty fair in mid, so we're just looking to give him some jungle-specific nerfs. Noxing dependency damage to monsters decreased to 100%. I've been seeing a lot of Talon. This champ is so unfair in the jungle. I feel like it's mostly because his mobility is just, there's nothing you can do about it, right? He has like permanent uptime on his E because it's per structure rather than the ability itself costing anything. So he just moves up and down through the jungle, ignores all the walls. Extremely hard to catch. Volibear. As the dust has settled on Volibear's recent changes, his AD and AP builds are much closer in power, and we believe Jungle Volibear to be appropriately strong. That said, top lane Volibear is currently quite weak. To help him out, we're delivering some changes that are intended to keep Jungle Volley at about the same power level. Base armor +4. Base attack damage up 2. Okay, some base stats. It's always what you want to see top lane. Thundering Smash minimum movement speed. So the minimum is a little lower now, capping out at 2% less at max. rank. The maximum movement speed also a little lower at max rank. So this is actually a nerf to jungle volley because his chasing potential is much lower. Damage cap against non-champions, 650. Now scales up to 650 plus 70% AP. Okay. Is this a substantial buff? The base stats are nice, but you have to max the E to get this benefit? I don't know. This seems like it would make it harder, actually, to clear the minion wave. Huh. Okay. Thanks for the base stats, I guess. Yone. We buffed Yone last patch due to his tendency to build Doron Shield and Second Wind. See, this is what I mean. Yone is one of the actual prime offenders of the whole Doron Shield Second Wind thing. Doron Shield Second Wind isn't bad when Shen builds it, right? So that he can survive laning against Aurora. But it's a problem when Yone does it. Because he's immortal and he scales super well because he buys 3 crit items and one-shots your whole team. So realistically, they should have just nerfed Yone and all the other champs that had too good of sustain. But, oh well. Base damage on his Q actually buffed. He didn't end up as powerful as we would have liked. But why? But why are we buffing him? Is that really the answer? I feel like Yone getting cooked in the early game is a good thing. You know, I feel like him and Yasuo, they're kind of synonymous with the 10 death power spike, right? Where they're supposed to get destroyed early and then struggle mid and then somehow eventually come online after they farm enough to get a couple items so their champs can play the game. Right? I don't know that I'm okay with these champs. Did my OBS crash? No, we're fine. Sorry about that. I don't know that I'm okay with these champs being powerful early on. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Biscuit delivery. Yeah, okay. This has needed a nerf for a while. This was like damn near a Mundo Ultimate for the early game. Once there are a few top performers and biscuits are among them. Once again, this is a nerf targeted at early sustain. Is it just my camera doing that? Once again, this is a nerf targeted at early sustain. And you can't really get mad at it, right? Because this was too good. Like, way too good. Because champions would run all of these things and just never die. Right? Especially in pro play. You have an Ambessa who goes Grasp, Doron Shield, Second Wind, plus Biscuit Delivery. She doesn't even care what she's laning against. Right? She just clears the minion wave. You burst her to half HP, whatever. She never gets low because if she does, she eats a biscuit. She's not going to die. She bases. And then Ambessa has like one of the biggest first item power spikes in the game because the moment she finishes Eclipse, she runs hands with anything. So this is an understandable one. Cashback. Cashback stonks are low despite the fact that virtually every champion buys items and wants more of them. Rebate on legendary item purchase, 8%. I still don't know if this is worth running. I mean, it's a little bit of extra gold, right? Like, if you want to be as gold efficient as physically possible. Whatever. Make it 10% and then we'll talk. Maybe I'm too greedy. Guardian. Recently adjusted Guardian to make it more attractive to enchanters. Now we'd like to revisit the rune to push up its durability across all classes. We don't want an early surge of health to make it impossible to all-in squishy champions, so we're mostly backloading this buff by increasing its level and AP scaling. It's 450 plus 15 plus 5, 45 to 180 plus 25 plus 5%. Yeah, this makes sense. You have to be careful with Guardian because, like they said, it'll be impossible to all-in a squishy champion. Because some champions can already take Guardian, and then it's like, you know, you're not killing my ADC. Right? Like, if Thresh has a Guardian, do you ever kill his ADC? You know, it gets really difficult. So it's nice to see them trying to blur this line a little bit. It's better later on, and it has a higher AP scaling. So it's a little bit more attractive if you're a champ that has more AP early on. Like the Thresh, for example. Thresh actually gets infinite AP from his passive when he collects souls. So he actually does get rewarded for taking this rune a little more. I keep using Thresh as an example because he's the only support I play when I get autofilled. I guess I play some Swain too, but yeah. Hail of Blades. Hail of Blades has a share of hardbound users who we tune against the rune, but it would also be nice if we had a set of champs who wanted to occasionally run it. Combat pattern of melee Hail of Blades is pretty compelling, so we'd like to buff it for melee champions in order to give it more of a fighting chance. So bonus attack speed for melee champions. Up 20%. Wow. So the issue with Hail of Blades is you have some champs that absolutely love it, and everyone else ignores it. So, for example, like Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is either Hail of Blades or Grasp, right? And Hail of Blades increasingly became one of his more popular ones because he could front load all the damage from his E into like a single second so he could drop a full combo on you and then ult you. Right? Especially if you like doing some of the more AP heavy builds where your first item is like Proto Belt into tank. So if you ask me, that's a huge buff to champs like that. And to champs like Tahm Kench if you like Hail of Blades Tahm Kench. The problem is, I'm wondering what other champs might be happy to build this. Like, for example, is there ever a situation where you go Hail of Blades on, like, Darius, for example? I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult because the domination tree is not really all that great. In my opinion. Yeah, Pyke probably likes this. Like I said, the champs that already use Hail of Blades like this, but I'm trying to think of a situation where champs who don't usually run it might really like it. Like Tryndamere. Tryndamere might like feel a lot more inclined to go Hail of Blades. 3 quick slaps. We'll see. I'm going to do some experimenting with the Hail of Blades. We're going to try it on a couple champs like Darius, like Tryndamere. Champs who are more than happy with getting off a few extra hits just to make their early trade patterns a little better. The problem is losing the Conqueror tree sucks badly. Because Darius kind of needs to run Sorcery second for the extra movement speed plus Axiom Arcanist, which is just so good. And Tryndamere kind of wants Resolve secondary for something like Demolish. But I guess Tryndamere's not all that upset to lose it. So you could go Hail of Blades Tryndamere with the Precision secondary so you can get Coup de Grace and Legend Bloodline. Speaking of Legend Bloodline, Bloodline's current tuning has left it pretty underwhelming. Given that lifesteal is so highly sought after, its pick rate has remained quite steady regardless. Still, we're looking to return some power. They got to be careful with this rune. At some point, like, everyone was taking it. ADCs especially. So now its maximum has been increased to 6%. Because you get 0.4. Okay, I mean, it's a little bit. The champs that, again, it's the same situation with Hail of Blades. The champs that were already taking Bloodline really like it now. They're happy with this. Move speed chart. We don't want move speed chart to dominate alternate options. We want it to be a viable option. 2% is now 2.5%. I always take the movement speed chart, so I'm happy with this. A 0.5% buff. A lot of people underestimate this, but you are literally moving the entire game from start to finish. So this is a very tangible increase. You know, an extra 2 steps for every 100 steps you take. That sort of thing. Nimbus Cloak. As part of our goal to open up more choices of minor rune slots, we're tuning up Nimbus Cloak. Really? I was just talking about like Darius, who wants the movement speed. So 14 to 40 is now 15 through 45. Yeah. Please nerf Phase Rush. Oh. Okay, sorry. I saw Phase Rush and I panicked. Phase Rush lost 25% of its slow resistance. That's pretty good. Sometimes so strong I can feel like there's nothing you can do to pin them down. Yeah. Okay. So this is pretty good. It's a bit easier to tech champs that don't have hard CC against Phase Rush. It's a bit harder for them to break free. Alright, I'm glad. Any Phase Rush nerfs are appreciated, because the only champs that take Phase Rush are champs that, like, you can't punish them because of the Phase Rush. Like Garen. But you know, Garen breaks slows anyway, so does he really care about this? Probably not. Speaking of breaking free, Tenacity Shard, 5% increase. Dude, these buffs are actually kind of wild. A huge buff to Hail of Blades, Bloodline, movement speed, and now Tenacity as well. Some champs really like this. This is like all Darius runes, by the way. Maybe not Guardian and Hail of Blades, but like more movement speed again from Nimbus Cloak, more tenacity and slow resist. I'm telling you, it feels like a Darius patch. Triple Tonic. Been dwarfed by ever popular biscuit delivery. So now we're shipping a small nerf to biscuits. We're looking to tune a stronger identity here. So Elixir of Avarice gives an extra 20 gold and an extra 10 adaptive force. Wow. That could be pretty good for the people who like to tech Triple Tonic. Not bad, actually. Not bad. This is a nice little change to overall runes. I like it. I actually really like this patch. I think the only thing I don't like about this patch is Yone getting buffed. But aside from Yone getting buffed, this is pretty good. I would have liked like maybe an Aurora nerf on top of this, and that would have been chef's kiss, but you know. Alright. Now let's take a look at Aram Mayhem and Arena. Because I've actually been playing those game modes, and I did have a friend who told me you might as well cover those too. So that's the end of the regular League of Legends patch notes. We're going to look at the extra game modes, and then we'll look at TFT. Alright, so Aram Mayhem. Draw your sword. This is the augment that turns a ranged champion into a melee champ. So 5% less bonus AD, 5% bonus HP, 5% less lifesteal, just a 5% nerf to all the stats. Dual wield. This is what gives you the bonus attack with your attack. So 5% nerf to the total attack speed. Imperium Promise. This is the augment that lets you jump to an ally and give them a shield. So it gives more heal and shield power and a lower cooldown. Okay. Glass Cannon. You trade 30% of your max HP for true damage. This has been buffed. Plus 3% true damage. Laser Heal is that green beam that heals allies and damages enemies. It's now a little wider. Heals for more. And does more damage. Wow. I was taking it already anyway if I was playing like a support. Master of Duality. Buff duration now lasts 5 seconds. So if you're one of those champs that interchangeably loves AD and AP, like maybe Shyvana or something, it's better. Ocean Soul base heal has been nerfed. This is just a great change overall because Ocean Soul is busted in a game mode where people can't go back to heal. Restless Restoration. This is a nerf. Yes, it's a nerf. So it heals a little less based on your movement. Because again, you're moving from start to finish of the game, so. Slow and steady. 80 gained. 0.75 per 1% attack speed. Actually buffed, you get a base 25. Slow and steady is pretty bad, but I have seen some champions pop off with it. Jace, for example. Jace hits his W and he can hit the attack speed cap. So Jace would hit W to get a whole bunch of bonus AD right off the start and then shoot out his Q. Snowball Roulette now gives an extra 100 ability haste for Snowball. Not bad. So that's the offensive and defensive summoner spells that get cast after you take a Snowball. Tap Dancer. Buff can now stack on hitting minions and monsters. Oh god. That's going to be kind of scary. So people can stack Tap Dancer off of farming before the fight breaks out. Swift and Save. Shield duration 2. Shield amount. Please nerf it. It is nerfed. By a lot. Almost half. And a lower AD scaling. And a lower AP scaling. Good. This was really broken on some champions. Champs with that were really mobile were really taking advantage of that. So it's good to see it nerfed. Ultimate Awakening. Now you gain an extra 30 ability haste on your ultimate ability. That's good. Because normally you're like down an augment with this until your ult is up. And for some champions that really like it, the ultimate cooldown's too long. So you're just down an augment for most of the game. Upgrade Collector. Increased. Wow, they doubled it. So you get half an extra % increase on Upgrade Collector. If I had this last night when I took Upgraded Collector on Lucian, I swear my execute threshold would have been like 15%. Because I dropped 20 kills that game. Upgrade Cutlass, damage up 25%. This might be worth taking now. Ooh. It's like damn near a Prowler's Claw now. Which makes me wonder, why haven't they just gone ahead and put the prismatic items in Aram Mayhem? Just give everyone a prismatic item. Fuck it. Pardon my language. Upgrade Mikhail's Blessing. I'm still never taking this. Don't care. Instead of giving you 1,000 gold, it will just give you Mikhail's Blessing. Okay, well, never mind. That's pretty good now. And then you'll get the full price if you already own it. If your inventory is full, we'll have a text cutout. Then selling one inventory item will give you the item. Cool. Veil of Warding, 30 seconds. Thank God. And what makes Veil of Warding come up multiple times, by the way? Do you stack the shields or something? I swear every time I knock off someone's Veil of Warding, it comes right back up. Once changes are coming with Aram Mayhem, they'll be applying to regular Aram as well. So enjoy some off-patch Aram quality of life changes if you're an Aram purist. Power Flowers on Build Drawer now heal you 6% of your max health. The cannon, you'll gain a shield when you land. Decrease knock-up time for the user and target out of the cannon. Remove some water elements on the map around the river to reduce some confusion for Kiana players. Okay, I'm not a Kiana player, but if that was something that's actually happening, that's hilarious. Alright, bug fixes. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really care about the bug fixes. I'm not reading through all of that. But here it is, the bug fixes if you need to pause and take a look. Or you can just look at the patch yourself at that point. Alright, time for arena changes. Janna. Passive ally movement speed buff. Movement speed bonus. Buffed. Q damage per second. Buffed. Q damage per second charged AP ratio. Buffed. Doubled. Wow. I never see Janna anyway. I've seen one Janna who got it off of Bravery. I think that was yesterday. And they just went 8th. I mean, this champ's not good. You could just play another actual healer like a Soraka or something rather than play Janna. So I guess I understand this. Just make her a champ who wants to build AP. So she kites you around and tries to burst you down at that point. I guess that's what they're doing. Giving you all this bonus damage on the Q and everything. Plus the movement speed. For kiting plus damage. LeBlanc, passive cooldown 10 seconds. I guess that makes sense. Q cooldown, refund on kill 60%. Damn. Base damage on her Q also increased. Damn. E delayed damage also increased. Damn. LeBlanc got some hefty buffs here. Irelia, passive on-hit damage per level, buffed. W magic damage reduction increased to 75% of the physical damage it blocks. Oh, wow. Shaco, W now kept at 6 traps out at a time, but they reduced the cooldown to 15 seconds. Single target damage increased to 12%, so it matches Summoner's Rift now. W AoE AP ratio also increased to match Summoner's Rift. So AP Shaco actually got some buffs here, but you're capped on the amount of traps you can have out. So you can't just place a trap, take the power flower, place a trap, take the power flower, place a trap, and then end up with, like, in the overtime arena, you have just like 8 traps and your opponent can never touch you. Varus passive attack speed cap increased by up to 10. Wow. Passive after minion kill bonus 80 and AP ratio 15%. So some nice buffs to Varus' passive here, just increased in every way, especially if you end up killing someone summons. Earthquake damage increased because it sucks and I never take it. I take it like when I play like Ambessa or something. Spell Wake, in the same vein, also buffed. Gamba Anvil stat shard price reduction. 150, okay. So Gamba Anvil into Anvil stats is a little buffed here to make it a little better. Mad Hatter buffed from 4 to 6 and 2 to 3 on the armor, MR, and move speed. Augmented power, but I like augmented power. I always get it when I take orbital laser. Nesting doll, extra 20%. Oh, it might be worth taking now. Dashing got buffed. Bro, the thing with dashing is it's terrible. It's like super polarizing, right? For some champions, dashing is like the most broken augment in the game. Like if you're Fizz, this is ridiculous. But if you're like Set, it's terrible. And yes, you can hit dashing on Set because his ult counts. It's killing time. Damage type physical. Ooh, it does true damage now. It should have been done true damage, honestly. Because killing time is just Z ult. But now it does true damage. Ooh. Not bad. Jewel Gauntlet crit damage increased. That's kind of scary. Some champs love Jewel Gauntlet. Earth's Champion gives Omnivamp instead of Lifesteal. That's amazing. Because Earth's Champion was like untakeable on a lot of the spell-based champions. Raid Boss. Increase an extra 10%. Not bad. Vulnerability. Increased by 10%. Not bad. Divine Intervention. Oh, it's just the first cast. 12 seconds. Okay. Chauffeur ability haste. Again, Chauffeur is super polarizing. Broken in some instances, worthless in others. Critical healing. 10% increase. Not bad. Frozen Foundation. 15 seconds. This is the Anivia wall. Lightning Strikes. On hit threshold. 3 attacks per second. That's actually a huge buff. 1 less is a huge buff. That is way easier to hit. So like Tryndamere and Trundle are really happy with that. Sonic Boom. Also buffed. Okay. Not terrible. Mordekaiser, Death Realm Degradation. Okay. Thank God. They finally struck like a firm balance with this. Like the entire round was kind of messed up. 15 seconds, not bad. Okay. Bug fix is fixed. Not bad. Kaisa has received an audio update. So is it so she stops panting and screaming in my ear every time she casts an ability? Others around Kaisa will hear the fade out more naturally. Okay. Correctly played for hitting single or multiple targets? No, not at all. Alright. Some more bug fixes. Upcoming skins and chromas. All right. So we saw these two already, and then there's Mecha Kingdoms Darius and Wukong. The Darius skin's actually legendary, so it really is a Darius patch, by the way. And then some chromas for those aforementioned skins. And yeah, all right. That is League of Legends. Wow. About 35 minutes. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's take a look at the TFT patch notes now, huh? Alright, so TFT patch notes. This is the is this the final patch for KO Coliseum? Maybe not. So it's a light patch for this, for KO Coliseum, and then it's a big patch for Uncharted Realms, which I've already uploaded a video on Uncharted Realms, so we'll look at both, actually. Rotating shop is all arcane stuff if you're interested in arcane. Let's go. Nerfing Crystal Gambit again. What is this, like the 5th, 6th straight patch of Crystal Gambit nerfs? So 1.75 now. Crystal Gambit 5 kills needed. 4, 6, 9, 12, 16 is now 5, 8, 12, 14, 16. Dude. It's because they buffed Ashe and made her too strong. 2 cost units. Kaisa ability damage. 32, 48, 75, so 34, 51, 80. So they're trying to bring Kaisa back. Well, worst performing 2-cost carry gets a small nudge up. Our best performing 2-cost carry gets a nudge down. Katarina's potential has been seen. We've declared it too high. So 1% less potential on the Katarina. Yeah. So they're trying to bring Kaisa back up and tap Katarina down. That's fine. Rammus Shield. Actually buffed. He's been left at the table with neither you nor your revival taking him. Or your rival, sorry. This makes sense. Rammus was kind of falling behind the pack, especially since like his best comp with Kaisa hasn't been good. So buffing Kaisa and buffing Rammus, you never know, that comp might come back into viability with a heavyweight Rammus Kaisa carry. Kaisa Darius duo carry. 4 cost units. Jarvan 4. His shield HP scaling increased by 3%. That's a cute buff. Lee Sin Juggernaut single target damage nerfed. It is kind of a nuke if it's single target, huh? Augment. This is really a small patch for regular TFT, huh? Call to Chaos ranged carry golem removed. Healing orbs buffed. But it can't appear on 2-1. Okay. Yeah, that's both versions. Because healing orbs on 2-1 at times is like an auto win. Like you're going a 5 streak because the heal is too big. Your unit never dies. Raid boss health, minus 5%. Okay. Screw bastions, I guess. Radiant items, Radiant Kraken's Fury. Okay. I guess Radiant Kraken's Fury was like an auto win. Star Student Battle Academia. So you have to have 7 Battle Academia to get Star Student. And Star Sailor requires you to have 5 Star Guardians. And Cynical Smash, a light buff. 1 second. Damn, that's it? I mean, I guess you can't have you can't have like a big package. Sorry. I suppose you can't have too big of a patch right before a Tactician's Crown. So this is just to bring some stuff in line. Small buffs, small nerfs. Okay. And then Revival. Let's just take a look. For a game-winning Prismatic, Jade is a bit too hittable. Now you'll need 1 more emblem. Damn. Another emblem? That's hard. Swift Shot attack speed. Small buff. 5 across the board. Okay. except for the first breakpoint. 3 costs, carrying a bit too hard. So Diana nerfed, Lee Sin nerfed, Nunu buffed actually. I guess you kind of need an emblem on the Nunu to make him like really really good. Olaf nerfed, Volibear buffed actually. So if you like Dragonmancer, Lee Sin Volibear, not bad. Deja buffed. Blast damage also buffed. Nice. Itis buffed if you 3-star Itis. You know, I've seen 3-star Itises lose. I've seen it several times. So I guess now this brings Itis in line with if you 3-star her, you can win the game off of it, right? Graves damage per bullet. So Graves also nerfed. Excuse me, sorry. Soam, if you 3-star her, you can win the game instantly. Because some of these dragons are actually really bad if you 3-star them. Like, it doesn't change too much. It's like good, but it's not like game winning. So that's what this is. A lot of these dragons, if you 3-star them, you can just win. Siphon, Itis, Soam. Which is funny because when I look back on set 7, I remember Siphon being an absolute menace, and now he just feels not nearly as strong. Augments, Soul Eater. More stacks, but a lower base. And you get boost attack speed. Not bad. Itis' touch. Buffed if you 3-star it. Again. Relic from the past, Darklight Zeke. Buffed. Okay. Cool. So some nice little buffs there. We kind of steamrolled these TFT patch notes. It's not a whole lot of TFT patch notes. Right. It was very quick. So, yeah. That's gonna do it for the patch notes. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and update the game because I don't think I've updated it yet. But I just wanted to take a look at the patch notes with you guys. I'm gonna upload the full uncut thing to YouTube. So if you're part of the YouTube audience, thanks for tuning in. It's been real fun. It's looking like a Darius patch to me. I kinda want to use the legendary skin. I don't know if I'll buy it yet. I've kind of sworn off of buying Riot points after the whole fiasco with the removing Hextech chest and adding the Sanctum. I'm still a little bitter about it. Honestly, real talk. If they want to, like, try to undo the damage that they did with the exalted skins and everything, at this point, just stick it in the that sounds wrong. Sorry. But at this point, if you want to undo a lot of the damage they did with the exalted skins, they should just put it in the Mythic Essence shop. It won't undo all their sins, obviously, but that's how they fixed Prestige skins, right? Prestige skins were like $200 chromas. And then they made a special shop for it, and then they were like, you can earn Mythic Essence out of the Battle Pass. A Mythic Essence at this point is still kind of hard to come by, so literally just up the price point. Right? A prestige skin is like 100, 125 Mythic Essence. Just make the exalted skins like 200 Mythic Essence. And then at that point, you at least give people an outlet to acquire the skins that doesn't involve gambling. I think if you do that, people will hate it a little less. And you'll also give a viable outlet to people who have been supporting you for years and have a bunch of Mythic Essence and nothing to spend it on. You'll also give people more reason to farm your Mythic Essence and buy more of your Battle Passes. And also, you get Mythic Essence from the Sanctum anyway, so you have like a consolation prize. Where it's like, oh, you spent a little bit of money in the Sanctum, you spent like 15, 20 bucks, and you got a little Mythic Essence and you can't afford anything. Yeah. Anyway, that turned into a little tangent on Mythic Essence, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. We've been here about 45 minutes, so thanks for tuning in. I'm going to catch y'all real soon. Peace.